In GTA 5, there are hundreds of different cars to buy in, with Rockstar Games being worth billions of dollars. I'm sure all the cars are normal, right? Yeah, no, they're pretty bad. From cars that just fall apart to ones that somehow put you in God mode, here are 22 of the most broken vehicles in this game. Starting with the Blazer Aqua. And besides it being a bit expensive, it may just seem like a fairly normal vehicle that's fun to take in the water, but have you ever noticed it's impossible to flip one over? Seriously, from spamming my up and atomizer at it to having the train run into it, this thing just refuses to flip over. I mean, even if I use mods to set this thing upside down, it will just automatically flip itself back over. And I genuinely tried to think of some reason as to why.
Like, oh, maybe the weight balance is off or something with the design.
But I'm not that smart and really didn't come up with anything other than it's just not normal. The BF Weevil. Because every car in GTA has one thing in common, that you can't change the color of the stock rims, except the BF Weevil. For some reason, if you pull this thing in Los Santos Customs, when you change the secondary paint, it also changes the color of the stock wheels. And you may not care at all, but a lot of people do. Like when the iFruit app was a thing, one of its main features is that it would let you change the stock wheel colors on certain cars. There's even old YouTube videos showing you glitches on how to do it, with a bunch of comments like,
"This shit hard for real."
So yeah, a lot of people actually care, and it's kind of cool. The Night Shark. This thing is probably the best $1.2 million you can ever spend, because somehow the inside is bomb proof. And no, I'm not kidding. Go get in your Night Shark, go in first person, and just hold a grenade. Because yeah, somehow after an explosion in your hand, you're just chilling. Oh, and quickly for comparison, when you normally hold a grenade in your hand, yeah, you die. So I don't know if the inside of this thing is filled with some like crazy alien technology that's only been discovered by Rockstar Games, but yeah, it's pretty wild. The Mesa. Okay, so the Mesa isn't the only car with this glitch, but I don't know, I just kind of picked it. But anyway, this car has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tires, right? But the 4 tires on the ground you can shoot and they deflate like a normal tire, right? So you would think this one would also deflate like a tire does, right? Wrong. You can literally shoot every bullet you've ever owned into this thing and it won't pop for some reason. Even if you blow up the car, the tire still has air in it. Like, bro, what? The Yugo Bravado. I think that's how you say it. Anyway, this thing probably just looks like a normal van you would do some normal van activities with, but it actually holds a dark secret. Kidding, it's not that dark. But if you take it to Los Santos Customs, you can put an upgrade on it that removes the windows. But then if I go and shoot where the windows would be, just listen. Yeah, it still makes the sound effect of a window breaking, despite there obviously not being any windows. The Zentorno. Yeah, unfortunately, the OG Zentorno is completely broken. Well, it's not really that bad, but it's something I'm surprised more people haven't noticed, because every time you're driving it, you're pretty much always looking at the back where you may see these quad exhaust tips. But if you take a closer look, you can actually see one of them just isn't functional. Even if I make this thing spit flames, you can see it only comes out at 3 of the 4 exhaust tips, so why this is beyond me. The Futo GTX. Yeah, apart from this thing having its own name on the car over 50 times, there's something else wrong with this thing, because it has these kind of cool pop-up headlights, but unfortunately they're super broken. Well, at first they're fine, but if you crash this thing enough... Okay, that was clean, you can't lie. But yeah, anyway, eventually your headlights just randomly start to float. Even weirder is they still work. Like, they'll go up and down even though they're connected to nothing. The Vigoro ZX, I think. A Camaro. Because yeah, believe it or not, it may look normal, but by this point in the video, we all know that's not true. And this one doesn't actually have anything crazy. It's just when you put the top down to make it a convertible, it just randomly leaves some piece of glass, which I don't know, maybe this is normal on Camaros, but like, I don't have a Camaro to go test this with, so I'm gonna go ahead and say it's some bug by Rockstar. Franklin's driveway. And yeah, okay, I know Franklin's driveway itself isn't a car, but there are cars in his driveway, and they're pretty normal, other than the fact we can't drive them. You can't even break a window or damage these cars at all, they just don't move. And like, I guess I kind of get it, they're Franklin's cars, but the game is called Grand Theft Auto. I mean, let us take them. But yeah, there's some of the only cars in the game that you can't drive. The only other ones I can think of would be some of the ones in your auto show, but I don't know, let me know in the comments if there's more. The trophy truck. So we all know it's an unwritten rule of GTA that you have to drive through these yellow things or you'll get banned. But there is one exception. One time when you don't want to run over these things, things, and it's when you're in a trophy truck. Because for some weird reason, when you drive over these things, your truck just falls apart. I mean, pieces go everywhere, and it honestly makes no sense why. Semi-trucks, because it's not all of them, but a lot of them have this badge that says a V24 supercharged. That is a Bugatti engine plus like a Scat Pack engine combined into one with the supercharger on it. I mean, if this thing had a V24 supercharged engine, I would want to be going at the speed of light. I don't care if they weigh 25,000 pounds. The 190Z. So this one's not necessarily broken, but there is something weird about it. In your interaction menu, or in my case, mod menu, you can open the driver's side door and the passenger side door, which makes sense. But you can also open both the rear doors, even though it's a two-door car. So you're probably just like,
Oh, so the buttons don't really do anything cool.
and you'd be wrong. Because for some reason, they open these little flaps towards the front of the car. I have absolutely no clue what these could be used for, but I guess we have them. The taxi. And oh my god, I don't even know where to begin with this one. Well, I guess for starters, every taxi says the driver is armed and will use it, but I can literally rip out the driver and watch him run away, so their sign may not be true. You can walk up to a taxi and put a sticky bomb on it, then if you try to get in, the taxi just kicks you out. Or if you don't put a bomb on the car and just try to get in, you'll obviously get in the back seat. But if you walk over by the passenger side, crouch by the door, and then try to get in, it will just let you enter the passenger side. Or you could just get in the taxi and fast travel to the LA River, because once you get out, your driver just continues to drive down the river. You can also somehow convince taxi drivers to fast travel you to the middle of the ocean. So yeah, these things are just super broken. Any car with an engine in the back. And other than the fact it's just cool to have an engine in the back of your car, there is actually a big difference. Well, maybe not that big, but any car that has an engine in the front, when you're driving it, if you just decide to open your hood, you'll realize your hood goes flying away. But any car that has an engine in the back, when you open the hood, nothing happens other than the fact you probably can't see. The Phoenix. It's actually a car you can find for free, and it can put you in God mode in very rare circumstances, because the roof has an upgrade to make it glass, but the glass is completely bulletproof. And yes, I realize it means it's just like a normal roof, but you can see through it. But you could probably troll your friends by being like,
Hey, bro, shoot me through the roof.
and they obviously won't be able to. I don't know, just yeah. The worst cars in GTA. Yeah, real quick, I want to talk about cars like this because, well, no one else ever talks about them. Because let's say you buy a nice car and you upgrade it. When you take it out in public, you'll see NPCs just taking pictures of your car, but the same thing is true for terrible cars. Like, I made this thing look cool. Well, as cool as it gets anyway. And there's NPCs taking pictures of it. Like, I don't know if they're going to make this thing their wallpaper or they're just trying to make me think my car's nice, but I'll take it. The Chameleon. This is the first electric car we've talked about so far. At least you think it's electric. I mean, it looks like an electric car. It makes the noise of an electric car. Even the game's got it labeled as an electric car. But what's weird is if you open the hood, there's a whole engine under here. There's also exhaust tips, but again, nothing comes out of them. So I don't know if this thing's electric and someone got bored and just threw an engine in here or what, but yeah, definitely strange. The Panto. Okay, so if you're anything like me, you probably crash your car a lot. And it's not like paying Los Santos Customs to fix it is super expensive, but like it can add up. But with the Panto, you can crash this thing as many times as you want and have it in the worst condition possible. And when you bring it in Los Santos Customs, it just gets fixed for completely free. Why? I have no idea, but I guess I'm not complaining. The Strider. So this thing actually got removed from GTA, but there's something that's just so weird about it, I still want to show you. Because you could buy this SUV for $500,000 from Legendary Motorsports, but when you actually got inside of it, in the bottom corner, you might notice this thing is somehow considered a sports car. And I don't know if I'm missing something, but I've never heard of a stock SUV being a sports car. And like, it doesn't even look cool. Maybe if it was a Porsche or something, then all right, but no, it's literally just some mom's SUV. The Ferrari, I think, GT. And this one's super simple, so I'll just get right to the point. You can't open the trunk. You can literally open everything else, just not the trunk. I mean, I am currently spamming the button and the trunk just doesn't open. So yeah, if you got anything in the back of this car, I'm sorry, but you're never getting it. The Scramjet. So this is another one that kind of puts you in God mode, I guess. Because here, for example, if I jump off Maze Bank, eventually I die, right? But with the Scramjet, I could be falling from 10 times higher than Maze Bank and land straight on my my head, and yet somehow I'm completely fine. It's the same thing with the Caddy. You can land straight on your head, and it's basically like nothing happened. The Cernando, I think. The Cernando. So earlier we talked about V24 supercharged semi-trucks, but this SUV-looking thing apparently has a V12 in it. Just kidding. I mean, well, not really. The badge does say it has a V12, but if you pop the hood, you can pretty easily tell it ain't a V12. I mean, I think only a couple SUVs ever have a V12 in them, and yeah, this thing is definitely not one of them. Cars that are way too low. Yeah, so for this last one, I don't have any specific car, but some vehicles you can make so low, the wheel glitches through the fender. Now, to actually see this, you most likely need F1 wheels, but hey, there's no shortage of glitches on how to get F1 wheels on your cars. But wait, there is actually one more fact that's so weird, almost nobody knows it. I'm just kidding. I was gonna say you can drive over the subscribe button and hit it, but that's up to you. Also, let me know if you want a part 2, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed.